All right, I think we are live. Hi, Michael. I can see we are already 19 people. That is awesome. How are you guys doing tonight? It's really, really great to see this many people already. So, basically, I've been wanting to do this for a long while. I have, I think, around 13 books. I would love to show you guys. Behind me, you can kind of see it. I literally have a tower of boxes that I haven't opened for some of them for quite a while. Next to me, I also have some bookmail that I did open because I was just a bit too impatient. And people are already higher one and hi Tufty and hi. I hope you guys are doing well. Just right before I start, just want to say special thanks to my patrons who support what I do here. I really appreciate it. And also these guys, they actually pay for 2 videos of mine to be edited professionally a month. So they really, really help out a lot. So I really do appreciate it. Yes, bookmail, bookmail, bookmail. And even Mike is here. It's like a book haul live. Yes, I am mad. Obviously, if you have any questions while I'm doing this, this is just going to be chill. Maybe grab yourself a cup of tea, as I have done, or some water or something. And we're just going to hang out and let me just see if everything is all right here. It looks like it is all good to go. Awesome. So the first books I have hauled, I found this in a charity shop, and it is Gardens of the Moon by Stine Eriksson. So some of you might know, I have read this book 18 months ago. I made a couple of videos about Molasson, because this series didn't really work for me. But I picked this up for £2, and then it was on my then it was next to my bed for a week, and I just started feeling it calling to me, and it just kept calling to me. So I actually went out and bought Dead House Gates, which I'm actually currently reading, and I am enjoying it more than I did the first time around. But I'm still not sure if this series is for me. But let me see. I am on page 550 out of 940 pages, so still around 400 pages to go. I am loving some things about Dead House Gates, but I am still not sure if the series is for me. But I really, really want to love the series. I know some people think that I hate Molassan. That is not the case. I want to love the series because people that love the series, they talk about the series as being almost like a life-changing experience. I want to experience that, but still not sure. But I do have the first 2 books now, and I think I'm probably going to give the third book a read as well. But we will see if that ever happens because it is just so overwhelming. Hey, Peter, he's one of my patrons. Nice to see you. Hey, Fun Fantasy Books. Hi, Isa, how are you? Bandido, hello. Rant video. I'm not going to do a rant video about Molassan because even though I still haven't fallen in love with it yet, I'm starting to understand a bit of the appeal. But okay, this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I think a lot of authors today, especially if a self-published author wrote a book like Molassan, I think a lot of people would actually criticize the author for over exposition and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting that this series has such a devout fan base. But I'm not going to talk about Molassan, okay? I hope to fall in love with the series. uh, Great deal. Lol, shall we see your thoughts, Molassan? No. Don't get me started on Molassan. The next book I bought, and this is a recent purchase, and this was actually a present to my wife, but I might actually read this. That is Jonathan Strange by Susanna Clark. You know, I love Parnesi. Parnesi is one of my favorite books, and a lot of people have recommended checking this out book. And I know this is apparently a different beast than Parnesi, but I knew this book was long. But this book is, let me see, 1006 pages. That is, you could kill someone with this. It is so heavy as well. But yeah, this is going to be my wife's next read or soon. Okay, I'll move some of the books because they're already starting to pile up. If you're late, I was about to say, if you're late, these are the first 3 books I've showed. All right, let's see some of these comments. I'm scared to start Molassan. I don't blame you. It is hard work. Mike, I'm in book 8 and still not sure if Molassan is for me. Man, you should encourage me. I need lots and lots of encouragement if I need to get through Molassan. Molassan scare me. I'm not good with a lot of names and characters, man. I don't think Molassan is for you then, because just the first book alone, I don't know how many names there are. what is tough to say? 3,000 pages before it gets good, apparently. So I was told by this guy on BookTube. I mean, that is one issue with Malasan. Okay, guys, you guys are encouraging me to talk about Malasan. This is not a Malasan live stream. But when people say, read the first 3 books, which are all around 800 to 1,000 pages, before you make up your mind if you're going to love it, I mean, that is a tough sell. But I do want to love it. Okay, Molasses sounds insane. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on it, Andrew. And thank you for joining. So the next book I received, let me start here. This is actually quite a while back, but I received an arc of Combat Codes. Let me see the by Alexander Darwin. He actually contacted me on Twitter and asked me if he could send me a physical arc. This is going to be published by Orbit. It was sent from the United States, and I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me see if I can get it to focus. It's not focusing. There you go. You can see the damage. So it has received a bit of damage. I've heard a lot of great things about this book. I'm pretty sure it was self-published first. And it sounds like a great time. It's going to be available in June 2023. Planning on reading it before it gets released, but I haven't been as good with with arcs this year. Rob says hi. Gabor says hi. Hi, how are you? What is your 1 to 10 on book 1? I'm suppose you're asking about Guardians of the Moon rating. It's Guardians of the Moon. Let me just grab it. It's one of those books that people swear is actually an amazing book after you read the whole series. When I read this first time, I think I gave it 4 stars, but to be honest, that was probably quite generous because I didn't understand anything that was going on. Man, you got me to read Parnisi. What a gem. Yes, I love to hear that. Okay, next book. So this is also an art copy, and I was really happy to get this one. I applied for this, or I requested it on NetGalley, and I was declined. And then I messaged the author, and he said he would send me a physical arc. So that is lovely. All books fall to dust. That's what it says. It's The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. How beautiful is that? So this is actually quite similar to the final cover, I believe. But like this text is different. This is a quote from the book. It's going to come out in May. But the greatest story can reach the stars. I've read 2 books by Mark Lawrence. I read Prince of Thorns, which is a book I definitely did not enjoy. And then I read, what is it called? One Word Kill or something. He has like a sci-fi series that is quite like heavily based on the 80s and that time period. And that was all right. But I only read 2, but I haven't fallen in love with Mark Lawrence yet. But this just sounds so intriguing. And now I literally have a physical arc. So I'm really excited to give this one a read. It's quite a chunky book. It's almost 500 pages. But yeah, it looks great. And it's floppy. We all love a good floppy hardback, paperback. Tufty, my copy of Guardians of the Moon was printed in the year 2000. I bought a new. Wow. So you probably have one of the very early copies. I think the first one came out in 1999. Oh, this tea is very nice. Isa, if it's as great as Parnisi, it will be 1K pages of perfection. I've heard it's very, very different. So people usually say don't compare Parnisi to Jonathan Strange. But yeah, if my wife loves it, I'll probably give it a go. Do you read any? Oh, I thought you asked, do you read any books? I didn't see the YA. I used to love YA when I was in my teenage years. The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, loved the series. His Dark Materials, absolutely brilliant. Twilight, no, that's a joke. Never read Twilight. But yeah, definitely. I do respect YA, but I don't read YA now. The only YA book I read in the past year is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. And I basically hated that book. So I really do apologize for that. Andrew, how are you? Thank you for joining the stream. And I got one too. Alexander's a great dude. Heard great things about Combat Codes. Yes, I did see you post about this, Mike. So that is cool. And Combat Codes seems interesting. What is your policy on accepting arcs? Well, we're not gonna. Basically, if I'm in the mood for the book, I receive around 1 review request a day at the moment. And since I'm doing a master's and stuff like that, I barely reply to any of them at the moment. You can always send me an email. The likelihood of me replying at this point of time is very, very low. So usually word of mouth. If I hear a lot of people talk about your book beforehand, before you contact me, it is more likely I'll pick it up. All right, we have way more book mail. Let me just move some. So this we've gone through 5 books. I think we still have 7. And I haven't even opened any of the special editions behind me yet. All right. The next book. So I recently read Zen and Ascents by Josiah Bancroft. And I don't know if you guys know, but the books of Babel, the first two books were self-published originally. And I was able to find the books of Babel, the self-published edition. So this is actually really, really rare, but someone just sold it for like £9. I don't really understand, but yeah, this was just too cool to say no to. The only real difference is the title. Book 2 in the series, the self-published version, is quite different when it comes to the cover. And this is like in perfect condition. So I don't know. Someone has bought this book. It's just been on their shelves and they probably haven't even read it because the spine as well is perfect. So that's a pretty cool find. I think there are some hardbacks as well, self-published hardbacks, and they are crazy, crazy rare. But yeah, quite happy about this find. All right, we have one more book before we start getting to the big packages. Let me see. Oh, we have many comments. Yeah, Combat Codes was initially self-published. I thought so. I got Mark's book pre-ordered. Well, I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I hope you will enjoy it. Gonna do the broken binding edition of Mark Lawrence's new book. I love the Book of the Ancestor. I've heard so many great things about that series. I believe that if that will probably be the series that I will love the most by Mike Lawrence, from what I've heard. So I just really should push it up. And also recently, I don't even know why, because I don't want to use the word hated, but I very strongly disliked Prince of Thorns. But I heard approximately a year ago that apparently book 2 and 3 does kind of explain. My biggest issue with that series was that George, or I don't know, I'll call him George. He was 13 years old, right? And he's just so overpowered, and that just didn't make any sense to me. But I've heard that book 2 and 3 does kind of explain how come. And I'm kind of intrigued, like, can you actually justify having a 13-year-old protagonist being more clever and stronger than most people on this earth? Maybe. So I read many SPFBO books, but not yet tried Mark Lawrence. I feel I need to read some of his work. Yeah, he's probably one of those authors, one of the more popular authors that doesn't get talked about that much on BookTube. I believe like Prince of Thorns has sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of copies. So it's not like he's an unknown name at all. Isa, oh Johan, you need to get into Founderside or the Aurelian Cycle. If you like YA, definitely check Isa out. She makes some really, really great content on YA books. I got an arc of Mark book 2. Oh, that is really cool. Is Mistborn YA? I think we could probably make a whole video about this. I think, well, it's interesting because even publishers don't know, do they? Like, if you go to some bookstores, some will class it as YA, some will class it as an adult. But that is why most people almost always recommend Mistborn as that perfect bridge between YA and adult fantasy. Because, yeah, it can be enjoyed by both groups, really. I wouldn't call it YA personally, even though it does have some YA things in there, I suppose you could say. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's YA, but yeah. I'm in the middle of the Prior of the Orange Tree, and so good. Well, I'm really happy you're enjoying it. That was one of my biggest letdowns. I just felt that the plot was just, it's weird because the book is like 800 pages, but the climax, we arrive at the climax when there's only 50 pages left of the book or something, and then it's just over. It's one of those weird books where you almost feel like it was too short. What's your master's in? I am doing a master's in business strategy and innovation. Only one request. My English was going. Only one request review per day. Yeah, that'll go up. Yeah, I can't imagine Mike. He's like on 90,000. He must be getting so much. Hey, Soran. She is amazing on TikTok and she's also on YouTube. Make sure to go and subscribe to her. I really am enjoying her content. No, George was the worst. Yeah, I think, Mike, you did actually read a bit longer, further into that series than I did. So, yeah, that doesn't sound good. Yep, I feel the same when it comes to Prince of Thorns. That's the thing. I feel like maybe book 2 might make it up for it, but Mike says no. So I don't know. All right, let's continue with all this book mail. And thank you so much for all the comments and questions. So this is a bit of a strange one because this is actually a book I am actively trying to get rid of. So I'm subscribed to the Goldsboro fantasy and science fiction subscription. So I receive one book a month. I haven't been impressed by their selection for the past 8-9 months. Basically skipped almost all of them and sold almost all of them. But a book I received a month ago was Shield Maiden. I mean, it's a very pretty book. Let me see if I can focus. And here we have the edges. It's a very nice. It's very beautiful. And let me see. This is a signed and numbered copy, 680 out of 2000. I believe also there's something on the naked hardback. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's a very, very pretty book, don't get me wrong. But the synopsis just doesn't sound interesting at all. And I don't think I'll ever get to this book. So I'm trying to get rid of it. Unfortunately, even already now, like, there's no way I'll get my money back because so many people are selling their copies. So I'll probably just have to sell this at a loss, which is fine, but I'm never going to read this. So if you're interested in this one, feel free to message me, preferably UK only. All right, we've gone through 7 books now. So it's time to open some of these books here. Let's start from the top. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. Let me see if there's some in the comments here. Have you got any closer to any 40k? That must be Warhammer, right? No. And I am not really sure if I'm going to pick up any of those books. Maybe. I'm intrigued because the world is so massive. But from what I've heard about 40k is that it seems to be more light-hearted, fun, adventure kind of books. And usually those books don't vibe that well with me. When is your video with 2 Ramble? Hey, so you actually know what's going on here. So 2 Ramble, they are a great channel. I'm actually doing a collab with them. They posted a video last week where I was in their video, and I am currently working on the video. I'm actually getting someone to edit that video for me. So that will probably be another 10 days or so. I'm sorry about that. Erin, she is my patron that has supported me for the longest. So I'm so happy you're here, Erin. Thank you so much for joining. What is your favorite book this year so far? That is a good question. One of them is actually behind me. I'm not sure if this is my all-time favorite, but The Grace of Kings. I will be posting a review tomorrow about this book. So look out for that. But basically, this book is quite hard to recommend, actually, because it's so different from anything I read. And I think it spans over like 20 years or something mad. It's almost like reading a history book, but it was brilliant. And this cover is so stunning. I've also done an interview with Ken Liu that's on my Patreon. And he is so smart. I asked him, well, I'm getting sidetracked now. I will open this after I've finished my thought. I asked him, what would you like to see explored more in fantasy? And Ken Liu, he started talking about technology and modernity, and he's literally, the reply was so clever that I didn't even understand what he was talking about anymore. So that just shows how clever he is. If you thought the ending of Prior's Rush, then I think you would like the prequel of A Day of Fall Night much better. And thank you. I actually have received even a physical arc, and I haven't picked it up. I feel so bad. Okay, let's get to this. I'm pretty sure I know what this is, and I'm so excited about this. If Mike is still here, then you might be a bit jealous. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, so this is the broken binding, and we have a bookmark here. The broken binding bookmark and the sticker. I do have a discount code, Library of Vikings 7, for their regular store. So if you want 5% off, not of their special editions, but the regular books, I do have a code. It's also on my bio on Instagram, also my description. And I do get 50 pence, I think, every time someone uses it. All right, let's open this. I'll just grab my knife. Here we go. It is like opening a nice gift. But I'm not gonna treat this nice. Okay, yes, it is what I expected, and I am so excited about this. I actually have 2. So this is Of War and Ruin by Ryan Cahill. How exciting is that? He actually sent me the physical proofs of the hardback to my address. So I was the first person in the world, even before Ryan, to actually receive a hardback copy. And apparently that hardback copy has 2 mistakes in it. So that is probably more rare than this one. Now let's see if... Yes, this is signed and numbered. 31 out of 50. How cool is that? Only 50 numbered copies in the whole world. Absolutely mad. The reason why I was fortunate enough to actually get this was because basically when Ryan didn't even he hadn't even published his debut yet, I said yes to read his book because I wasn't even that big at that time and he hadn't even published his book. I read it, I really enjoyed it, and as a thank you he sent me a signed and numbered copy of the first book, so that gave me access to getting all the numbered copies in this series. So yeah, I have a numbered edition um, of all the books in the series, which I'm so happy about because I love this series. And he's also added my name to a lot of the books. Not this one because I reviewed it just too late. This is a tomb and it weighs so much. You're going to break your hand if you read this, but it is so beautiful. I love it. Excellent, excellent. I'm so happy about this. Have you guys read Of Blood and Fire or any of Brian Kyle's books? I bought Ilborn because of your wreck. Ah, yes. Ilborn deserves more love. I know it's not that small in the self-publishing community, but both books are 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely brilliant. Do you have any plans to reading Name of the Wind? Yes, I will read it eventually, but it's just one of the series I keep pushing back because it's unfinished. And then recently, I mean, there's just so much controversy around Rothfuss at the moment that I don't have any motivation to read it, which is really unfortunate, but I will read it. And I'm actually expecting to love it. But there's just so much negativity around the author, not the book at the moment. And I don't know if we're ever going to get the third book. The thing is, if he was actually working on the book and we were getting frequent updates, then I think I'll be much more inclined to pick it up. And I actually do own the first book. So, do you plan on getting Sort of Cake and hardback? Yes. So actually, when I did the sponsorship with Trademark, they actually said they will send me a copy. So I'm really happy and excited about that. I've always been thinking about unsubscribing for Goldsport for months. Yeah, same. The only reason why I don't unsubscribe for them is because they have so many, like they give you access to pre-sale. Sorry, I'm so behind. I see those broken binding boxes, and I'm just here living vicariously because their shipping to the States is insane. I know it's so sad, but the broken binding, it's Bay. The Goldsport Justice of Kings is beautiful. It is, and I also own the Tyranny of Faith. Love those books. Which book sub has been your favorite? The Broken Binding, without a doubt. And that's why, because they're focusing on books that have been successful in the past. They reprinted the First Law trilogy. I mean, how amazing is that? They were like impossible to find before they actually did a reprint. 40K is a wild universe to get into. Yeah. Well, I might get to it someday. I'm definitely open for it. Okay, I'm just going to read some more comments before we get to the next one. Yes, To the Grace of Kings. I just finished Speaking of Bones, and it was beautiful. I can't wait. I've heard book 2 and 3 in the Daniel Dynasty become a bit more character focused, because this is a very plot driven story. And even a lot of the main characters in this novel don't even survive the first book. Basically, it reads like a prologue, but I loved it. But it's very different. I've been seeing so much about the Dandelion Dynasty recently, and guess I've got to add it to my endless TBR 10. Yeah, just add it. Drum roll. Well, that's probably late. Ooh, Mike, be ready. I'm still here and I'm jealous. Mark, he's also one of my highest tier patrons. Thank you for joining. Impressed that you can hold onto this parcel unopened for the sake of BookTube audience. I know, I am such a disciplined person. No, to be honest, the guest room, I only use it for BookTube. And I've had the books on the floor there, out of sight, because it's been tempting. And as I've already showed early in the stream, I have opened a bunch of bookmail. Of War and Ruin is a brick. Look at this. It is massive. You could literally kill someone with that. Ryan Cashley wrote a trilogy and called it into one book. He wrote this book, wrote and edited and published this book in 9 months' time, and is longer than Words of Radiance. That is insanity. The fact that I haven't read The Bound and Broken yet is embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. If you like classic fantasy, though, definitely pick it up. The first book is good, but all the other books are very good. So definitely read them. How many pages are there? Let me see. There are. The thing is, apparently the printer can only print a bit more than 1,000 pages. So I think the word count is like 430,000. Yeah, this is like 1,000 pages, but like the word count is mad. That is a nice chunky book. It is. We love chunky books. Mike, oh yes, I'm getting those. Not from Broken Binding though. Just gonna take a minute to get across the pond. Don't think mine will be numbered though. No, not the number ones are impossible because there's only 50 copies of those in the whole world. But yeah, Of Blood and Fire is so good. That's impressive. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Read The Fall, reading book one in April. I look forward to your thoughts. It seems like, Mike, that you have your expectations set right for this series because, yeah, I mean, the first book is it's not bad. It's definitely not bad, but it's very reminiscent of other classic series. All right, three more comments, and then I will continue opening more books. The Fall was fantastic. Yeah, that's a prequel for the series. It's definitely a huge improvement from A Blood and Fire, and it's only 100 pages. Just finished Illborn and moved straight to Age of Sin. So good. Yes, guys, everyone does here. Pick up Illborn. I think most of you will enjoy it. It is such an underrated book. Of War and Ruin is next on my list to read, but I keep putting it off because of how big it is. I don't blame you. I spent more than a month reading this, and I even read a couple books in between because I had to take a break. Okay, let's open more book mail. This is heavy. So I'm pretty sure I know what is in these two boxes. I have another one behind me. You can see it. I have an identical book behind me, but I don't know in which order they go. So let's see. And one box was very kindly sent to me by the Broken Binding, while the other one is one I purchased. So this is going to take a while. So if you want to leave some more comments while I open this. I'm also seriously lacking space on my table. All right. Let's see how this box works. This is very well wrapped. I'll put the knife away. I'm afraid I'll cut myself. All right. Things are happening. Okay. Here we go. It is open. This box is very sturdy. And it's even wrapped with, I think this is quite environmentally friendly, which is quite good. And, oh, and then even more bottle wrap. How nice is that? And here we have two nicely wrapped books. Look at this. This never gets old. The Broken Binding. It is just absolutely lovely. Just finished Illborn. Yeah, that is an old comment. Here we go. Open my Broken Binding. Oh yeah, it's so chunky, isn't it? That book is a good arm workout. It is. Yeah, it is. Age of Sin was amazing. Yeah, that's book 2 in the Illborn saga. It's brilliant. It's such a good sequel. If you want to get into 40K, there's a podcast coming out soon, laying down the lore 40K. They already have one for WFB. I don't know what that is. And it's absolutely amazing. That's really cool. Tufty, I am the one that really did not get on with Illborn, I'm afraid. The dialogue is wooden and cringe, and some viewpoints made me really uncomfortable. To be honest, there is especially one point of view in Illborn that is, I mean, that character is just despicable, but I found it so riveting, though, to follow her story. So it's not like I loved her, but yeah. Fall Society used a wrap. Takes about half an hour to open. All right, let's get into the first book. I'm so excited to see what series this will be. Okay, I think I can see because there's just a small tear here. All right, let's get into it. Okay, I know what this is. Does anyone want to guess? Very cool. Here we have the straight edges. Oh, look at this. Ta-da! The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. This is the special edition by the Broken Binding. So it's blue. And look at that end paper. That is stunning. This is one of the series I've heard so many great things about, but I haven't read it yet. All right. I think there's more goodies in this one. So this one is signed. How cool is that? Very, very cool. I think I'm gonna love this because this is classic fantasy done right, apparently. And oh, let's take a proper look at this. I'll actually take the dust jacket off. How beautiful is that? And here we have the Ember Blade, Chris Wooding. I just love swords. How that is really, really cool. Okay, let me just put a dust jacket on and let's open the other one. Obviously, the other one is going to be the Shadow Casket. You know what's weird? A lot of people say this series is quite underrated and stuff like that, but the Shadow Casket just came out, which is book 2 in the series, and I have barely heard anyone talk about it at all, which is a bit worrying because we really want a hardback release of book three if that ever comes out. And if it's good, well, I suppose it's also my my fault here. Um, Let me see. There's just so many comments. Does anyone know if Guardian's Moon? Does anyone know if Garden of the Moon, a middle grade YA, is that a joke? It is definitely not middle grade YA. It is the most complex, challenging, hard book to read in the fantasy genre, at least that I've come across. So not only is it adult, but you probably need to read at least, I don't know, 100 fantasy books before you start reading that one because it is insane. Yeah, Liana is horrible from Illborn. Yeah, I agree. She is horrible. I didn't root for her, but I found her point of view really fascinating. Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't know that. Emberblade, Water Legacy. Yes, I am dying. It is beautiful. Still haven't read that one. Hank's head in shame. Should we read it together then, Mike? It's a thick book though. It is very, very chunky. All right, let's open the next one. So this has to be the Shadow Casket. Oh, interesting edges. Well, you can't see it yet. So here we have the edges. Can you see that? So it's yellow. Okay, no, it's fine. There we go. Here we have the cover. If I'm being absolutely honest, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of these covers. Let me put them side by side. I mean, they're not bad, but it's quite generic, isn't it? And we have the edges. I'm not sure what I think about the yellow ones. I mean, they're not bad. Definitely not bad, and better than not having spread edges. I like the blue ones more. Let's take a look at what's inside. So here we have the end paper. Very beautiful. I just love end papers. I don't know why. It just makes the book look a bit cooler. Yeah, it's the same on the back. So, oh, this is what Chris Wooding looks like. I didn't know that. And this one should also be signed. So this one is also signed, which is brilliant. Let's take a look at the naked hardback. Oh, I feel like all my reaction sounds are the same. Look at this. How cool is that? It's just like top notch, isn't it? You get a very nice hardback. You get foil on the naked hardback, which is great. You get sprayed edges. And you get end paper, which is really, really cool. And then probably like the best part is that it's signed as well. But the great thing is that you get both of them at the same time. So it's not like you have to go out hunting for them or you buy the second book in a series, special edition, and then you have to hunt for the first one. I think it's just brilliant. I'm actually really surprised that no one has thought about doing this before. Just reprinting all series and making them into special editions. Because you know there's going to be a lot of people interested in a reprint of the first one, for example, as they recently did. So, yeah, these are great. I look forward to reading them. Hopefully, I'll get to them this year. I better get into this year because I spent quite a lot of money on these, but they are very nice. All right. We still have 2 more packages to go. But first, I haven't looked at the comments in like 5 minutes. So let's have a look at this. I like how your broken binding boxes look so nice. They look so nice. I had one delivered to California and it looked like it was ran through a trash compactor. Oh, at least the book was fine. Well, that is the most important thing then. So it's adult then. Yes, it's definitely Guardians of the Moon is very, very much adult. Those Darkwater Legacy broken binding editions are so beautiful. They are. Hey, news up here. Stoked with your content. Oh, thank you, Joshua. I really appreciate that. And yes, most definitely. Malison, Book of the Fallen, all 10 volumes are adult fantasy. And it's just not adult fantasy. It is crazy, crazy, complex military fantasy. It is like nothing out there. So it's like reading Silmarillion on steroids. Thanks. I'm halfway through the Shadow Casket, and it's great. People probably still working through it because it's a chunker. Yeah, it is a thick book. So hopefully, at least it has enough readers to actually get that third book out. Because it would be quite sad, especially if it's a great series. Because publishers they do sometimes just either not release the third book or just do a paperback release for the third one, which is also quite sad. I got the paperback of the Emberblade, but haven't read it. Excited to get to it because there is a heist. Ooh, I do love a heist, especially if there's like a group of underdogs. Mistborn, love Mistborn. Lies of Locke, just love it. So, and if this is a heist that also has classic fantasy done well, then I mean, then there's a guarantee I will love it. I really should pick it up sooner then. The more people talk about Malazan, the less I want to read it. It sounds like too much hard work. I mean, what can you say? It is hard work. I'm not even some people. The people that love it absolutely adore it, but Malazan is hard work. That's just what it is. It is hard work. So yeah, Wooding writes so slow. Might just wait for the last book at this point. Yeah, but he has like a bunch of other books, doesn't he? I don't know. I like these covers. Can't see character faces, fortunately. No, that's true. I just wish Malazan had a normal sized paperback set. Those mass markets seem like a tough way to read it, though. Yeah, it's true. The only good thing about when you have a mass market paperback, like these books are basically worthless. So I don't feel bad about breaking the spines or buying them. I bought both of these secondhand because they're not worth anything anyway. So why should I care? A couple more before we go to the next book mail. I got the Children of Time trilogy by Adrian Tchaikovsky from the Broken Binding. I'm scared to read them in case I smudge the spread edges. That is so relatable. I mean, is this weird? Sometimes when I buy special editions of books, I love them so much that I'll like if I find the book on Kindle for like £1, I'll buy it on Kindle and read it there instead. Am I the only one that does that? Because I just love my special editions so much. Have you read Dagger and Coin? I think that's by Daniel Abraham. I think so. I haven't. No, I heard great things though. I read Age of Ash, which I didn't enjoy at all, but I've heard great things about Dagger and Coin and the Long Price Quartet. That's what it's called, isn't it? Malazan, unboxing, and more Malazan. Tonight has a theme. It's your guys' fault. Why do you keep bringing it up? Okay, 5 more, and then I'll go back to unboxing. I blame it on you. You guys keep talking about Malazan. I didn't got Guardians of the Moon. Yeah, I don't blame you. Mike, I recommend reading Malazan on digital. The mass market paperback are so big they're near unreadable. Yeah. Let me. So, this is the font. It is quite small. Yeah. So, okay, 4 more. Am I the only one who buys special editions? Then buys. I just said this. Well, you probably wrote it before I said it. Yes. Well, I often do buy like the Kindle version, or if I find it in a secondhand shop, I'll buy it there as well. Aaron, I don't read my special editions. I always buy the Kindle book to read. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. I thought there for a while I was probably the only one that did that, but no. That is hilarious. Okay, 2 more. I'm waiting on Children of Memory paperback before I read it. I love that. I love that. Wooding does a lot of with writing for video games. Ooh, like Assassin's Creed. So he isn't just working on books, but a lot of other various projects. Very, very interesting. All right, we're gonna go to the next book mail. I am so excited about this, but I'll save it for last because obviously we want the best for last, don't we? I know what is in here, but I haven't read. I was about to say I haven't read it, but I haven't opened it for quite a while. I'll explain more when I open this, but I bought this secondhand on the Facebook Marketplace. And did I buy it because I needed it? No. I bought it because this person sold their copy for like £10. And when you see what book it is that I bought for £10, hopefully it's in great condition. It's just a bit mad. All right. Looks like it's fine. So I believe I may have paid 15, but I think I paid £10 for this book. And when I saw the price, I was just like, I have to buy this. So we're talking about The Hunger of the Gods, the Goldsboro edition. So this one has sprayed edges and is signed and numbered by my favorite author, John Gwynne. That is really, really cool. I don't think there's no end paper. There's nothing special. So yeah, the cool thing about this is that it's the Goldsboro edition. This book isn't that hard to get a hold on, but the Shadow of the Gods Goldsboro edition it's near impossible to find anywhere. And whenever it does pop up, because I've been trying to see if it's out there somewhere, like the prices are usually like two, three, £400 just for the first book in this. So yeah, if anyone wants to sell their copy for a reasonable price, I might be interested. But now I don't know. I already own this in hardback, and I don't know why did I buy this? Only because it was cheap, and I love this book. I think, and I know some people like Patrick Leo, he didn't love this book as much as I did, but I think that this might be John Gwynn's best writing to date. Am I the only one that thinks that? John Gwynn is so famous for his very action-paced, um, very fast-paced stories, right? And his action sequences are brilliant. There's so much to love about John Gwynn. I read all his books, so I love him. But what I loved about this book is that it has more slow moments, which I just really appreciate. Maybe it's just because I read too much Hob, but just the fact that he slows the pace down a bit just made those character moments to feel so much more impactful, which I really appreciated. And then also the inclusion of the two new POVs we get in this book just worked brilliantly because we start to understand the other side of the conflict. So I love this book. I now have the Goldsboro edition. Man, I need space. I don't know if I should keep this or I bought this like a month ago and it's just been on my room, but it's a very nice copy. Such an amazing cover as well, don't you think? So yeah, we only have one more package to go, and I'm so excited for it. But let's look at some of your comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining also the live stream. It's so nice to see so many people commenting. I really appreciate it. Joshua, does anyone in the chat know if the illustrated Ice and Fire editions are going to continue being made? If anyone knows, let him know. I have no idea. Do you read any graphic novels or mangas? So no, at the moment I don't, but I'm not against it. But I just feel like my TBR is so ridiculously massive that I'm not sure if I want to get into manga just for that reason, not because I hate it. And also, if I start reading manga and reviewing it, I know that my current viewers will not be interested in that content. Most of them, at least, maybe 10%, 20% will be, but most will not be. So I also need to find new viewers if I want to start making that content. So the fact that a lot of people are not that interested in manga that are subscribed to my channel, and the fact that I'm maybe not that excited about it are two factors at the moment that are making me a bit hesitant. But I'm not ruling it out, especially now with how a lot of booktubers have started reading manga and really talking highly about it. Has really made me reconsider. So if you have any suggestions, you can always like recommend where to start. But I probably will not be reading any manga, at least this year, but who knows? I might do it next year. Did I buy it because I needed it? Do we ever buy books because we need them? I don't know. I feel so bad and stupid sometimes. You know what's funny? My wife, she studied English literature when she did her master's. So she literally has a degree in literature, and I'm the one that is buying all of these books, and she's not. And I'm the one studying business, and she has like a freelance job and does really well there. So it's quite funny. Our roles are reversed, but yeah, she is very supporting. So yeah, I love her for that. John Gwynn is the best. Yes, I love John Gwynn. Such a great author and a great recommendation for a lot of people. So if you want to get into fantasy, The Faithful and Fallen is such a brilliant read. Malice is a very good book, but it's not the best one. But yeah, Valor and Ruin are brilliant. Oh wow, I didn't know you did things live. What's the schedule? So this is my second live stream I've ever done on this channel. How mad is that? Last time I did it was to celebrate 10K, and I didn't even have a proper camera back then, so my quality was so bad. But yeah, we're just opening up bookmail, and we're almost at the end. I still have one more package to go. So yeah, that makes me regret deleting my Facebook account. Yeah, there are a lot of great deals on the Facebook Marketplace. That is like a life hack. Check out your Facebook Marketplace every once in a while. I found some crazy things on there where, like, someone sold me a copy of the UK hardback of Words of Radiance, which is near impossible to find for £15. I mean, that book is easily worth £100. Stuff like that is just, it's mad. Tufty, I've decided to join a booktuber on a book buying ban through April. I should probably join you. I normally haul a silly number of books on a regular basis, so I will have to watch more unboxing videos to get my thrills. Well, Yeah, well, I can't join you then, can I? Because I need to give you those thrills. But I do support this. Great on you. Really, really great job. Nice. You got me to read those Gwyn books. Well, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it. You're on my rob list for the golf editions of John Gwyn's books. I mean, I might sell this to you if you message me, Saran. So what does Mike say? I still prefer Faithful and Fallen, but Bloodsworn is probably better written, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I have a lot of nostalgia with the Faithful and Fallen. Um, I just remember I was so immersed in the story. Ruin is one of those books that evoked so many strong emotions in me. If you read Ruin, the third book in the Faithful and Fallen, then you know that book, like it was, I literally gasped, and I usually don't make any noises when I read or anything, but it was just so riveting. So yeah, those emotions, I could totally relate that, but I think as well, Bloodsport Saga is probably a better written series. Yeah, I mean, it is better written. This is like his seventh and eighth book, I think, or eighth and ninth. So he's definitely improving his craft. And Jungwin, he just loves like Nordic stuff. So yeah, you can definitely feel like he's really passionate about this series. But yeah, The Faithful and Fallen, absolutely brilliant as well. I'm waiting for the next book before jumping into Bloodsworn, but it's killing me not to read it. Yeah, well, I hope you will love it as much as I've done. We haven't heard anything about book three yet. My guess, so the first book is called The Shadow of the Gods. Then we have The Hunger of the Gods. So the third book has to be like The War of the Gods or something, right? Especially if you read book two, then that name would kind of make sense. War of the Gods. I try not to buy books anymore unless they are signed or special editions. If the library doesn't have it, I'll do Kindle. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Special editions, one way I kind of justify buying them is that they usually at least maintain the resale value. So if I'm going to spend £18 on a hardback, or I could buy this for £25 when it comes out, the likelihood of me being able to sell it for £25 in a year or 2 years' time is quite high, while the regular hardback usually will not. So sometimes I just think just buying the special editions just so in case you don't want it, you can actually resell it. But maybe I just think like that because I'm a student and I have to think quite a lot about money and stuff like that. I buy all my books both physically and digitally. Oh, that's interesting because there's not a snowball chance in space that I'll take 20 to 25 pounds book with me when I go out and read in cafe. Yeah, I feel similarly. I don't feel that like I don't want to bring my special editions out with me because they're just gonna get damaged, aren't they? I don't even make content at Booktube, but still bankrupting me. I mean, this is so relatable. Booktube, it's a mean thing. Did you hear of Priest of Bones? That is by Peter McLean, isn't it? Patrick has talked a lot about the series, and it's been on my TBR for a while. So I think I will love the series. But as with so many series, my TBR is just absolutely out of control. So I will read it one day. I haven't read anything by John Gwynn. Do you recommend starting with Shadow of the Gods? That is a great, great question. I think most people, if you're like a seasoned reader, then definitely start with Malice, the first book in the Faithful and Fallen. Malice is not bad, but it doesn't really start going until the halfway point, I think. And book two and three are so much better. So I think the Faithful and Fallen is a fantastic starting place. If you just want to read probably the strongest writing by John Gwynn, then the Blossom Saga is probably the best go. But don't start with Of Blood and Bone, which is a sequel trilogy. Either start with Malice or The Shadow of the Gods. But I don't really think you can go wrong with any of them. Did you read A Song of Ice and Fire? Ooh. So, well, I need to give a bit more context to this reply. I read the first two books and then I didn't continue. But the only reason for that is I read that series way before I actually started reading a lot of fantasy. So it was just way too overwhelming for me. It was way too complex, and I probably shouldn't have read it at that time. So I think if I read it now, I would probably absolutely love it because I'm much more used to reading epic fantasy. Didn't have that much experience, so yeah, I stopped reading it many years ago. What was like 5-6 years ago, but that was before I really got into fantasy. So that's the only reason why. Do you know that you have fans from the Middle East? I did not know that, but it's very. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna read the last 4 comments, and then I'm gonna open the last book mail. Aaron, Ruin had me audibly sobbing at the end. My husband asked me if I was okay. Well, I'm glad you had your husband there with you. That ending is, oh, if you read it, then you know. I was ugly crying to Ruin. I mean, I don't think I've ever cried while reading a book, but that's just because I don't cry that easily. I don't know why, but yeah, Ruin was an emotional roller coaster. Have you read The Last War by Mike Shackle? I actually own the first book. What is it called? We Are the Dead. Reasons on Mike. Yeah, he's also even left a comment here. The Last War is underrated. Yeah, I think I'm going to love the series. And when the Broken Binding started, I actually won a paperback copy with a signed booklet in it, which is, yeah, it takes me way back. But yeah, I've owned a copy for more than 2 years with a signed bookplate. It's still waiting for me to be read, but you guys know keeping to your TBR is almost impossible. But yeah, maybe Mike, if you keep messaging me, I'll probably pick it up. I also probably should finish the First Law universe. I need to read Red Country and Sharp Ends before I read all of First Law, and then maybe I should move on to that series. All right, let's get to the last one. Hi, I like watching your videos. Oh, Safina. Safina has been a loyal supporter of my channel. She's left comments since I think my very first video. So thank you for dropping in. Okay, the last package. And this is heavy. And I've seen pictures of these books. They are crazy beautiful. If this is what I think it is, then I'm really excited. So I'm pretty sure I know what this is. But let's see, shall we? The knife is back. The thing is, I don't have any shelf space at the moment. What do I do? Do I ask for a new shelf, or do I unhaul books? That is the question. Okay, here we have. Let's see if I can figure this out. All right. I'm so glad you don't see my floor at the moment, because I've literally just thrown everything on the floor. Okay, just as before, we have wrapping. And what do you guys think has been the best book mail so far? Bubble wrap. Yes, this is what I expected, and I am so excited, even though I didn't love the first book, but these books are so beautiful. Roots of Chaos. Look at that. Have you guys seen pictures of these books? I'm so excited. Man, I'm so excited. These are probably the most beautiful books the Broken Binding have ever done, according to the pictures at least. So, okay. Disclaimer, the Broken Binding actually sent me this set. So thank you so much to the Broken Binding for sending me this. This is absolutely insane. I can't believe it. So, but yeah, you just know I'm going to be a loyal Broken Binding supporter for the rest of my life, probably. Okay. Oh, yes. This, you can't even see it, but I'm literally, my heart is pumping so fast. Okay. So, I know I talked about how I'm not a biggest fan of this. This cover is one of my favorite cover art. Just look at this. But guys, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Look at those edges. Just the details. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me get it next to my face so it focuses. There is a dragon going throughout this whole edge. Just look at the details. I mean, how do you even do that? Then you have a nice back. Very beautiful. It just gets better. Okay, let me take the dust jacket off. I don't want to damage this. Why am I giggling like I'm a little child here? And what does it say? In darkness we are naked, our truest selves. Night is when fear comes to us at its fullest, when we have no way to fight it. It will do everything it can to seep inside of you, Sometimes it may succeed, but never think that you are denied. Very cool. And then the back. Just, guys, look at this. You have these edges, insane edges. Then you have this, and then you have that, and then you have that. And that's not even all. Look at this end paper. Look at this end paper. Everything here is just top notch. Okay. Am I getting too excited here? Probably. I don't care. And then we have the signature, Samantha Shannon, signed by the author, published by Bloomsbury Books in association with The Broken Binding. And I didn't even enjoy this book that much, but it's just so beautiful. This is the end paper. I mean, everything, and even has, not that it matters that much, but can you see that? Let me see. It has like the ribbon bookmark thing. When it comes to a special edition hardback for a reasonable price, I mean, can you get much better than this? Absolutely mad. Well done, Broken Binding. We still have one more to go, but let me just very carefully put the dust jacket on here. Thank you so much, the Broken Binding. This is such a nice hardback. Okay, I'm just trying to be careful to put it back. Oof. Okay, it is back on. That is stunning. Guys, question. What is the better cover? Leave comments below. These, I mean, I adore these covers, but which one do you think is better? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Okay, the last book mail of the evening. So if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. Sorry if it's loud. Haha. I'm getting way too happy here. Does anyone else get this excited about opening book mail? It's like the best feeling, isn't it? Oh, this is so good. Okay, let's take a look at this. So this is just the cover. This art style. It's so good, isn't it? But then, oh, you can definitely see the dragon way better here. How do you do that? How do you get an edge to look like that? Let's just compare. Look at this. Look at it. Guys, look at this. I wonder if these will fade over time. They probably will, which makes me a bit sad, but these are probably my favorite edges now. Absolutely insanity, isn't it? Okay, let's take a close look at A Day of Fallen Night, which I received the physical ARG of, but I haven't read it. But maybe now. Why am I so happy about this? I didn't even like the first book. It's just stupendously pretty, isn't it? Okay, let me just take the dust jacket off. All right. So here we have A Day of Fallen Night. Again, just how crazy is this? Everything, they just went above and beyond with this edition, didn't they? Here we have another quote. Let's read this again. My line shall be a line of queens, my realm a queendom, mighty to behold. For she was my strength, the root of my heart, and her memory will live until the end of time itself. I tell you, our house shall be an endless river, a chain long as eternity. Very cool. And this is the back. So you have this quote, you have this beautiful art, and then you have such beautiful edges. And look at this. Look at this. How often have I said tonight, look at this? Probably way too often. But that is mad. Again, signed by the author. And let's just have a look. There's a map here, which probably isn't that impressive, but we love maps. We have another map. Really cool. Prologue. Okay, I'm going to read the whole book now. So you better not leave. That's a joke. But definitely a book I want to read this year, especially now that I have this beautiful, beautiful edition. And here we have the end paper as well. And again, we have the ribbon. So if you don't want to use a bookmark, that is definitely an option. So let me just put this back. This must surely be the best Broken Binding edition as of now, I think. When they make the Of Blood and Fire like super duper exclusive edition, that might become better because that is just so cool because they have like a different cover and everything. But yeah, for now, my favorite Broken Binding editions. Let's just do this one more time, shall we? Look at this. Thank you so much, guys. Is it no one outside of BookTube understands my excitement right now? I'm so glad I have you guys. I truly am. Let's have a look at some of the comments, shall we? Sorry, I almost got lost there because I am man, I received so many. I really appreciate you coming out. Let me just have well, I did ask, yeah, new shelf, that is always the answer, isn't it? I've sworn off physical books generally due to space limitations, but really I'm wavering when I see these beautiful editions. Yeah, hold strong because as soon as you start buying books, I mean, it's a slippery slope. So maybe just stop watching BookTube, except if it's my channel. Glad to have caught you live. Keep up the great videos. Nothing beats a passion for reading other than a community to enjoy it with. Oh, thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate it. I don't do live streams often. This is only my second live stream ever. So yeah, they are so pretty. Yes, they are truly stunning. You know your broken binding books are going to arrive safely. Yes. I missed out on those and I'm not happy about it. Yeah, to be fair, I didn't expect them to sell out this quickly. So I didn't order it straight away and it just went out instantly. So I was just really fortunate to actually be able to get some of those. I need to stop using Amazon for books. Half the time the series will come half in trade paperback and half full paperback. That sounds really annoying. I don't think that's as common in the UK. Are you UK based? I wonder. I haven't had that issue that often, but I actually don't buy that often from Amazon, if I'm being absolutely honest, except for Kindle books. Do you read a few books simultaneously or rather focus on one at a time? So typically, I will read one audiobook and one physical books, and they will be separate books. And I wouldn't recommend this, but at the moment, I am reading Dead House Gates. I'm reading Dead House Gates in physical, and then I'm listening to The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. And those are, yeah, I don't think those two authors go well together. So yeah, if you're gonna read Robin Hobb, focus on Robin Hobb. If you're gonna read Malazan, maybe only focus on Malazan. Yeah, but yeah, it's rare that I do more than two books. That is like the sweet spot for me. I really enjoyed Priory. Well, that makes me really happy. I wish I loved it more than I did. Oh, I won't. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to make everyone jealous here, but yeah. what can I say? I do apologize if you guys are. Jealousy intensifies. Oh, I'm sorry. I DNF Priory, but I still wanted to buy those because OMG, yeah. I don't blame you for DNFing it. Maybe I should have DNF'd it, but I read it because I received that physical arc, and yeah, I need to pick up A Day and Fall Night. People say it's better, so hopefully that is true. Any specific reason for DNF? Well, he can answer that, I suppose. I very carefully check ISBN codes and paperback sizes to avoid the same problem. Yeah, I did that as well, but well, most of you probably weren't around here, but I had so I wanted to buy matching editions of the Farsight trilogy. So I had Assassin's Apprentice and Royal. What is it called? Assassin's Quest is the third one. Royal Assassin is the second one. Never mind. I wanted to buy a matching edition of the third book, and I checked the ISBN, bought a secondhand, got the wrong edition. I sent it back, bought a secondhand edition, checked the ISBN, got the wrong edition. That literally happened 3 times in a row. It drove me mad. So even that, it's not always a guarantee. Picked up my reserve for A Day of Fallen Night from library today. I love it when I'm the first person to borrow it. That's really exciting. I hope you will absolutely love it. I am hopeful I will love it very much. So we will see. The Priory was a bit of a lukewarm experience, but hopefully A Day of Full Night, because there's so much potential with A Prior of the Orange Tree. Like I just when I read it, I was like, this world is so intricate. It's so beautiful. The dragons are so awesome, but I just wanted so much more. So hopefully A Day of Full Night will be the best one. Is there going to be more books in this universe? Because originally this was supposed to be a standalone, wasn't it? Oof, what an amazing addition. Yeah, it's true, yes. Well, there you have your answer. No specific reason, just wasn't for me. I'm so glad someone else gets as excited or books as I do. Yes, yes, Aaron, you are. We both agree on this one. I do get so excited about books, especially like beautiful books. They just hit different, don't they? Um, Same, yeah. That is about the paperbacks. Broken Binding have deservedly built up my trust in what they produce. Yeah, yeah. It's just been really high quality. I mean, the subscription has been quite delayed, but just the fact that they keep having open communication, I really appreciate it. They're stunning. The best sprayed edges ever. Yeah, I do agree. City of Last Chances, the Goldsboro edition, has also incredible sprayed edges. I don't have the copy with me, it's in my other room, but they are probably also close to being as beautiful these are. But when you have these two books together, I mean, nothing beats this, does it? Nothing can beat this. I did ask which cover you preferred. Most people say Priori. Does Broken Binding have crazy prices to ship to the US? Well, Mike's book review says yes. I wouldn't know, but apparently it's not cheap. Hunger of the Gods because of the full book spread artwork. Yeah, I did ask which cover they preferred, Prior of the Orange Tree or the Hunger of the Gods. Yep, the full book spread artwork is crazy. Like when you see the full cover, it's just beautiful. And I prefer Hunger of the Gods. It's just so epic it is. It's time to disconnect, guys. Sorry, Isa. That wasn't my intention. I just got overly excited. When I opened my A Song of Ice and Fire Folio editions, I was shrieking like my 70-year-old. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that can relate to that. That is even better. Stunning. Yeah. Which side do you have facing out from your bookshelves? Usually I do have the spine. And my thought process here is that if the sun hits the sprayed edges, I think that's probably gonna tear or like wear faster. But I don't know. A Day of Full Night has the best book cover I've seen in a while. Yeah, it's a beautiful. But I don't know. I don't know which one I prefer. They are both beautiful. So yeah, I don't know if I prefer the big one. It is absolutely stunning. I love both of them. Absolutely. The sheer volume of super duper special editions from various publishers is just astounding. Has it been getting better these last few years, or have I only recently started to notice them? No, definitely not. They were not as prevalent only like a year ago, even. A lot of has changed in the past year. But if you go like 5 years back, it was not as common. Definitely not. The thing that has changed is that special editions in the 20 to 30 pound price range have become much more common, and publishers have probably just noticed that if they add a signature to a book, people will be spending more money on them and the margins are higher. So yeah, definitely, yeah, they're much more common now. I mean, I think like really fancy like folio edition has been a while. Subterranean press, like these super expensive ones, have been much more common. But now special editions that most people can afford have become much more common. Ranking of Broken Binding special editions episode. Well, no. Unless if they pay me. No, just kidding. You got some great books. Thank you, Safina. I usually only buy physical books when I find them at thrift stores. Yep. Mostly the audio. Year of Sanderson got me though. Man, I didn't pledge for the Year of Sanderson, even though I was really, really tempted. But the shipping was it was just insane because the books were like $50 and the shipping for each package was $40. So it was more than I think it was like 300 and something dollars for 4 boxes, and the books weren't even signed or anything. I, especially as a student, I couldn't justify it. But if I was in, even if I had the money, I don't know. They are very nice books, and I'm really jealous people have those books, but I just couldn't justify that price point. But yeah, I'm really happy for everyone. I've seen a lot of people unboxing those books or boxes, and I'm jealous. Let me tell you. Do you like Kindle or physical books? I love both for different reasons, though. For 2 books in a row, Fool's Fate and Stone of Farewell, I haven't really been feeling reading books, but I've been loving the manga I've been reading recently. No, any tips? Yep. I mean, there's nothing wrong with reading manga, is there? So I think that's probably a really great way to, if you're struggling with reading physical books, maybe just stick with manga for a while. If you're enjoying it, one thing I often do advise is maybe try audiobooks. If you're going to try audiobooks, if you're not used to it, I always recommend do something while you're reading to an audiobook, like go for a walk, clean the dishes, and like listen to an audiobook. That has often helped me when I feel like a slump is coming. And then the classic one, reread an old favorite, a book that you absolutely love. Just pick it up, and that'll probably put you in the mood to start reading again. Ben, what are you doing here? If you haven't subscribed to Ben as well, he makes a lot of funny content. So yeah. Well, that is it. Ben, you are quite late. I have opened all the books. Let me just briefly, if anyone is late, I'll just very quickly show you the books I opened in the beginning. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Which has been the best book I've opened? So I had the Combat Codes. This is the art copy by Alexander Darwin. It's not that long. And as I did say earlier, it arrived damaged. But oh well. Then I have The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence, also an ARC. Really excited to read this one. 2 Malazan books. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to start talking about Malazan again, but I'm reading Dead House Gates. So these are also 2 recent purchases I've made. Shield Maiden, the Goldspur edition, a book that I definitely don't want to keep. So if anyone wants to buy this, feel free to message me. I don't want it, but it's nice. It's straight edges, and it is signed. Not going to go through all of it again. We had Of War and Ruin by Ryan Cahill, the signed and numbered edition, which is really, really exciting. And this book, you could kill someone with this because it's so heavy. It weighs a ton, but it's very nice. Are you guys seeing this? Is this a bit off-center? Isn't this supposed to be a bit more in the middle? I don't know. Maybe I just need to refold it. But yeah. And earlier we also had Jonathan. I've been speaking English too long now. You guys know English isn't even my first language, right? That's why I do make grammatical mistakes in my videos. Jonathan Strange and Susanna, not Jonathan Strange and Susanna Clark. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. An absolutely chunky book. It's like 1,000 pages. And then we opened on camera the Dark Water Legacy, I think. Beautiful spread edges. Both of these are signed. Very nice. I've heard so many great things about these. And what else was there? We also had Hunger of the Gods, the Goldspur edition, signed and numbered, straight edges. And we had the self-published edition of Send in the Sense by Josiah Bancroft. And last but not least, the best ones, the broken binding editions of the Prior of the Orange Tree series. How beautiful is this? I will not go through all of these again, but these are also signed. Very, very cool. So yeah, 13 books. My room is an absolute mess now. If you saw my floor, you'll be scared. All right, if you have any last questions, now is the last call. Otherwise, I will end the stream very, very soon. Let me just see. Yeah, all the best, Safina. And would the broken binding let you film a behind the scenes tour? Would be amazing to see things in the works. I have actually once asked them, and they were very keen on it, but they are so busy. So we'll see if that ever happens. Well, goodbye there. Sorry, Ben. Slacking and showing up late, eh? Yep. Why are you so late, Ben? Laughing emoji. So many of these chunkers are dangerous weapons. Exactly. If someone is going to break into my house tonight, be prepared. I will throw Ryan Kyle's book at you and you will be damaged. Spyro's Great Hall. I think I'm most impressed by the priority pair at the end there. Yeah, surely they are the best without a doubt. So I think I'm going to call it there. It's been really, really fun. I really enjoyed all the nice comments and questions, and just opening up books has been really, really fun. And yeah, special thanks to Berg Binding for sending me those nice comments. And yeah, if anyone, should I make a marathon video when I finish with this book again? I probably will. We will see what happens. Um, but yeah, it was really great to see everyone, and just want to finish again by saying a special thanks to my patrons. So what we do here, you guys are amazing, and I really, really appreciate the extra support. It literally allows me to do so much more, especially getting 2 videos edited a month. So thank you so much. And gotta head out. Awesome book haul. Thank you. Hey Matt, great video. Can't be jealous. Thank you for joining the stream. Great live. Enjoy the beautiful books. Thank you. That was so fun. Well, thank you for joining, Erin. Night, night. Great live stream. Thank you, Henrik. Lovely time, night. And yes, follow up marathon. Yeah, I think I'll probably make a video whenever I'm finished with this book. I'm going on a trip to Wales actually in a couple of days, so I'll probably not be finishing this book this week, unless if I somehow am able to read a bunch tomorrow, which I will not. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great evening and read some really great books. And yeah, I should probably do this more often. All right, see you guys.